Hi, I'm Luke Ford, and I run the website lukeford.net, and had a very public dispute with Rabbi Saul J. Berman in 2004, 2005, into 2006 over a sexual predator by the name of Rabbi Mordecai Gaffney. Mordecai Gaffney's used many names, including Mark Winiaz, and Rabbi Saul Berman, along with a lot of other rabbis, including Joseph Telushkin, really went to bat for Gaffney. This whole thing began in September 2004 when Gary Rosenblatt, the widely respected editor of the Jewish Week, wrote a column talking about some of Rabbi Mordecai Gaffney's sexual misdeeds from 20, 30 years previous, including sex with an underage girl. And now Rabbis Joseph Telushkin and Saul Berman wrote this letter to the Jewish Week. To the editor, words can elevate and words can destroy. There was a time when the Jewish community too glibly and carelessly disregarded words of accusation of sexual abuse against clergy. That was clearly wrong, and Gary Rosenblatt, who's a friend of Berman and a friend of Telushkin, helped to correct that. Pendulum has now swung to the opposite extreme, as evidenced in Rosenblatt's column, The Reinvented Rabbi, September 24, 2004. The column reports an allegation concerning a relationship from 25 years ago when Rabbi Mordecai Gaffney was 19 and 20, not yet a rabbi, a situation where he had no pastoral relationship with the person in question. Rabbi Gaffney has a completely different account of what happened, which is not clearly related in the article, including the fact that nothing even vaguely resembling sexual relations took place. Furthermore, we can attest firsthand that several years ago, Rabbi Gaffney made serious attempts to contact this woman in a therapeutically mediated context. I love this, to clarify the huge gulf in their understandings of what happened, and if necessary, to apologize for any way in which she felt hurt. I love that when people say, oh, if I have offended you. Let's say someone behaves with the most utmost grossness and viciousness and completely inappropriate behavior towards you, and then they come back and say, if I have offended you, I'm sorry. If I offended you by making a sexual move on you when you were 15 and my student and I was 20 and in charge of your religious group, I'm sorry. That's so precious. And then to contact this woman in a therapeutically mediated context. I love this language. Clarify the huge gulf in their understandings of what happened, and if necessary, to apologize for any way in which she felt hurt. This officer was rejected, and the decision was apparently made that the press was a more appropriate vehicle for conversation. Just the smug superiority by Rabbi Saul J. Berman and Rabbi Joseph Telushkin is just too precious. The story also reports unsubstantiated allegations which are 20 years old. The story critically omits the fact that the professional to whom Rabbi Gaffney, then Mark Winiaz, was responsible at the time, conducted an investigation and drew the following conclusions in a formal report which was accepted by his superiors. I've known Rabbi Winiaz for the past 6 years, and I believe I speak of his character from a position of knowledge and reliability, blah, blah, blah. He's a wonderful guy. We have collectively looked at this issue again in the last 6 months and come to a similar conclusion. Further, Rabbi Gaffney has long expressed his desire to meet with any of the parties who feel he has wronged them. Not that he has wronged them, but any of these parties who feel he has wronged them, even when he has a completely different account of the situation. Yeah, rapists usually do. We, like Gary Rosenblatt, have struggled with the question of what gravity to assign to persistent rumors. Our conclusion differs from that of Mr. Rosenblatt. We have collectively, over many years, spoken to virtually everyone who would speak to us who was directly involved in order to examine the accusations against Rabbi Gaffney. This is just a pure lie. We have found them totally not convincing. Further, there is simply no evidence that Rabbi Gaffney's public role constitutes a risk to Jewish women or to anyone for that matter. We pray that this unfair, scandalous moment will soon be forgotten, that Rabbi Gaffney will be able to free his spiritual energy and formidable intellect in order to help build Jewish consciousness and commitment. Signed, Rabbi Saul J. Berman, Rabbi Joseph Telushkin, Rabbi Terza Firestone. Oh, isn't that sweet? Isn't that sweet? And The Jewish whistleblower notes, and this is true, the woman sexually assaulted by Gaffney Winiaz when she was 13 years old, okay? Attempted to contact Rabbi Saul Berman many times. He always refused to take her calls, and he has never spoken with her. Yet this pious old fraud talks about, investigated it endlessly, talked to everyone who had knowledge. Rabbi Saul Berman, what a character. This is a letter widely distributed by sexual predator Rabbi Mordecai Gaffney from Orthodox Rabbi Saul J. Berman. I've had occasion during the spring, summer, and fall of 2004 to conduct an extensive personal inquiry in response to accusations which have been made against Rabbi Mordecai Gaffney and publicized on the internet. A more balanced version of these same issues than that on the internet was raised in an editor's column by Gary Rosenblatt, published in the Jewish Week. Now they're calling Rosenblatt's article more balanced. I have literally invested hundreds of hours in talking to parties directly and indirectly related, reading public statements posted on the internet, and following the unfolding of this issue. I've come to a number of clear and unequivocal conclusions. First, as I've written in a public letter with Rabbi Joseph Telushkin and Rabbi Totza Firestone, we have found the decades-old accusations against Rabbi Gaffney to be unconvincing now, as they were dismissed in responsible, contemporaneous investigations. Just love this pious, pompous, superior, holier-than-thou language. We believe that these accusations have been intentionally distorted, kept alive, and circulated by a small group of people who have waged a vendetta-like campaign against Rabbi Gaffney, creating a false and unfair impression of his very delicate character. Okay, he didn't say very delicate, but creating a false impression of his unfair impression of his character. Second, the material posted on the Awareness website, related internet blogs, is not credible. Both in regard to Rabbi Gaffney as well as to other cases posted there, the Awareness Center has grossly distorted facts and blatantly lied. Pot calling kettle black. I guess he's projecting his own lying. Indeed, working together with a small team, I have collected a host of examples of such behavior on the part of the Awareness Center. While the Awareness Center does address an issue critical to the Jewish community, that of sexual harassment and abuse, the center itself has unfortunately become an abuser of the first order. Rabbi Saul Berman. I'm Luke Ford from the website lukeford.net.